Okay, good evening. My discussion for this topic will be the parameters that could be measured by using a multimeter. Multimeter is actually an electronic equipment used by engineers and other technical persons in the measurement of many parameters. Okay, let's proceed. The number one parameter that could be measured by a multitester is current. For the current, for this multitester, there are two ranges for the current. The first range is the 10 ampere range, 10 ampere, and the other range is the milliampere range. Okay? So if you are measuring a very small current, put it on the milliampere range. And if you are measuring a bigger current in the ampere range, put it in the 10 ampere range. For the current measurements, there are two, what you call this, classification. It's either you could measure a direct current or alternating current. So for both the milliampere or the ampere and milliampere, you could set your multitester in the direct current or alternating current range. To change this one, what do you call this? You just press the mode thing to change from DC to AC. So if you press the mode, it will change the mode from DC to AC for both the milliampere and ampere range. That is for current. So there are two classifications, okay? The direct current and alternating current, and to change the mode, you just press the mode button over here. Okay, the next one to be measured, I will place it here. On this location of the pointer, you can measure four things. Okay, I will indicate number one. For number one, it will measure resistance. It will measure resistance. The highest range that a resistance could be measured is in the million ohms. So there's a marking over there, M, capital letter M, then ohm sign, meaning million ohms. Okay? If I will press again the mode thing, okay, the parameter that could be measured by this tester is actually, there's a symbol diode over there. So actually you could test a diode. So that's actually for testing a diode in that range. In this one, there's a diode diagram. Okay. If I will place the mode again, it will go to another mode. This third mode is actually for measuring continuity. Continuity is something like this. Hold on. It is this. So the third parameter that could be measured in this location is actually the continuity. Okay. I will try to remove this one. So that's for measuring continuity. Testing continuity of a wire, if it's broken or not. The last one, if I will press again, there's a, what you call this, symbol over here, NF, meaning nanofarad. So on this fourth mode, you could actually measure the capacitance of a capacitor in nanofarad. Those small capacitors used for higher frequencies. That's the mode for measuring the capacitance of capacitors. So actually, on the location on this indicator over here, as I have said a while ago, it could measure 4 parameters. Okay, I will repeat it. The first one is actually the resistance test. The second one is the diode test. The third one is the continuity test. And the fourth one is for the measurement of the capacitance of a capacitor. Okay, let us go to the other side. On the other side, the next parameter that could be measured is, it is marked voltage, what's this? BAC, meaning alternating current voltage. So, on this location of the pointer, we can measure alternating current voltage by using these two terminals over here. Okay? On the next one, location of the pointer, it is BDC. What we can measure is a direct current voltage. So actually, we can measure the terminal voltage of batteries, or what you call this, DC power supplies. So in this range, okay, we can measure the battery voltage or voltages for direct current supply, of course, by using the two terminals. Okay. The next one is actually for measuring frequency. On this location, it measures frequency. The, what you call this, the unit of the frequency is in hertz. So if we try to poke this one on line number 1 and number 2 for AC circuit, okay, what will come out will be the frequency of the power line. For here in the USA, it should measure 60 hertz. Okay, so on this location of the pointer, this is for measuring frequency. So you know, like in your so-called inverter, if you buy an inverter, try to make sure that the frequency is correct, because if you try to plug in other gadget in which the frequency is different from the frequency of the power supply, okay, that's no good. The gadget that will be inserted will be, what they call this, destroyed. So on this location, this is for measuring frequency, and the unit is actually hertz. The next location of the multitester is actually for measuring temperature and degree Fahrenheit. Of course, you need these two terminals here to measure what you call this temperature. Like if you got the cup of water, okay, just submerge the positive and negative on the water, and you can measure the temperature of the water. The last one will be the so-called temperature, but the unit is in degrees centigrade. So it's still the same. If you're measuring the temperature of the water, submerge this on the cup of water, maybe the positive one and the negative one, and what will come out will be the temperature of the water in degrees centigrade. Oh, I think that's all the parameters that could be measured by this multitester. Okay, I will give you a brief summary. The first one is actually current in terms of amperes and milliamperes, and you could toggle the measurement from DC to AC by pressing the mode switch. The next one is what they call this, the multi-mode location, in which it could measure resistance, okay, diode test, continuity test, and the value of the capacitance of small capacitors. The next one is a voltage AC, alternating current voltage. The next one is a voltage DC. The next one is the frequency in hertz. The next one will be what they call this, the temperature and degree Fahrenheit. And the last one is actually the temperature in degrees centigrade. Oh, that's it, guys. So multitester is very important for us. So if you could have one at home, you could do it yourself for testing other parameters. But be careful, because in the measurement of the voltage and current, it is very dangerous. Okay, so that is all the parameters that could be measured by a multitester. for this multitester, because other multitesters could measure other values. But for this one, all the ones I've told you will be the parameters that could be measured. Good morning from Los Angeles.